right, American hustlers, I've been taking on a lot of jobs since jumping into the handyman trade. But the plumbing calls are probably one of the most frequent and dirtiest calls you can get. And I've been dealing with one particular building that has some of the worst calls you could probably come across. So let me show you what I've been up to and what I'm talking about. Ever since doing these plumbing calls, one property in particular has had damn near everything happen to it. I'm talking about sewage flooding the lobby floor to ceilings completely collapsing because of leaks. Seen water tank bust on the 6th floor and then flood everybody beneath them. Owner doesn't seem to want to invest that simple $12 drain pan to go under it to prevent that. So most of the calls you're going to see here today and in some past videos are from this exact same property. Let's start with call number 1 of the day. The customer said the vanity sink was overflowing. Gather up my shop vac and all the other necessary things I needed to get started. Get under the sink, remove the trap, and start to auger the line. But after about 1.5 hours of trying to force the snake down this pipe, I decided to go ahead and remove the entire vanity sink. See, there's a double Y that's tying this plumbing fixture into the apartment next door. And I believe either a piece of that cast iron vent has come apart and fell down inside that drain, clogging it up, or something is lodged inside there from whenever the sewage was backflowing into the apartment. So I went ahead and cut into the drywall with my reciprocating saw, loosened up the hub band that tied the vent to the Y. I put me a clamp in place there to kind of keep the pipe pushed away from it so I could snake it out. Whenever I finally did get the auger down in here, I snaked it 3 to 4 times. Then I hooked me up a supply line and went ahead and flushed everything out. At this point, I'm hoping that it's all flushed into the main line far enough to where it clears the clog. But since the tenant had a plastic knife stuck down inside the drain, I went ahead and decided to upgrade them to a grid drain to prevent that sort of stuff from occurring. I also cleaned up and reassembled everything the way it was before I got started. Whenever I go in and do jobs like this, I don't really like leaving anything behind that needs to be changed, such as the 2 angle stops that was in pretty bad shape here. But the owner didn't want me to change them, and he also didn't want me to install a cleanout, which would make this sort of stuff much easier. They're one of those people, they figure you can go over to the shutoff valve that comes in from the hot water tank and cut it off that way. I guess they think it's a little bit easier just to pull the entire vanity sink away from the wall and cut a hole in the walls to get down in the pipe as it would be to go ahead and replace all this stuff. If it was up to me, I would have went ahead and cut out the old cast iron double Y anyhow and put in a PVC version. AKA, these people are too cheap to solve a small problem before a much bigger problem happens. Now next up, in this exact same building but on a different floor, a lady basically had a tub spout that wasn't working right. It wasn't diverting all the water up to the shower head, which was also loose, so I fixed that along with her shower rod. The biggest problem she has is the fact that her tub was 100% clogged. Started out trying to use this cordless Weaver auger. I've been testing it out a little bit. That didn't seem to cut it. It didn't do anything to it. So I ended up going through an access panel in a downstairs apartment so I could look up in there and see what was going on with these pipes. And wouldn't you know it, some jackass had plumbed in this tub to a trap and a straight T. Not to mention the other unnecessary loops and angles that the snake would have to go through just to be able to get down the line. Once again, I had to come back upstairs, put in an access panel in behind the tub vent, and I got access to that pipe by removing the hub band and running this electric auger down it. Once the tub started draining out like I knew, and I just went ahead and pushed it as far as it would go and reamed it out 3 or 4 times. But no more than I was gluing the access panel to the side of the wall, the manager got a hold of me and said she had 2 more jobs for me to do down the hallway on another floor. I went down there, pulled out the washer, got behind the panel, cleaned out the trap, and run the auger directly into the main line. I had to head downstairs directly below this apartment to do the exact same thing to push it further on down into the main because the one downstairs was getting clogged up just like the one upstairs. And I'll be damned if another vanity didn't have a massive leak due to a steel pipe falling apart inside of the Y. This time they had no choice but to let me convert that to a PVC Y with all new piping and fern coat. My day wasn't quite done yet because before I could get out of the parking lot, the manager come running out to say, "We've got another leak." At this point in time, I'm tired, I'm filthy, I'm ready to go home. But then I realized it's that time of day where I start to charge double for what I'm doing here. Put my truck back in park, grabbed my stuff, and went back inside. Now this time the access panel was being installed in behind the refrigerator, simply because we needed a ladder to access the main drain that was tying the toilet, shower, and sinks all together. This was located way up in the ceiling, in behind the cabinets and behind the tub. Now 95% of the cast iron pipe was completely gone, but I did replace this whole section with a PVC version and 2 clay pipe fern coats. No more than I was getting everything finished up here, cleaning everything up, the tenant that was inside this apartment mentioned that they had a little bit of a problem with their tub draining slow too. Before I even left the place, I went ahead and augered his out as well. Since I am talking about clogs, leaks, and things like that, I'll go ahead and put you a few more pictures here on screen of other clogs, cleanouts, and tools I've recently dealt with. But just think about that. In one day's time, there was 6 different plumbing calls in this one building. This is one of those buildings that has no plumbing chases, no cleanouts, nothing to access 40-year-old corroded cast iron. Whenever you do access it, you're basically cutting out holes, installing panels, going in behind tubs, wash boxes, walls, bedrooms, hallways, in behind refrigerators, and elsewhere. Before you know it, there's 8 different panels all over the place in one apartment. Now the pipe's running every which direction in this place. A lot of things that's going to be in your way, such as metal framing, copper lines, ventilation, ductwork, sprinkler systems, breaker boxes, electrical wires, pipe, so on and so forth. And then there's certain spots in this building where they put trash chutes or the meter room where your meter boxes are, HVAC system, and other things that's right in the way of where the plumbing is in behind those walls, and you can't access them at all. And if you do, you're going to be pulling down the cabinets and walls to get to it. The owners actually think this building is worth about $3 million. Tell you something, they'd have to pay me $3 million just to take this place. It's a true representation of the fact that certain things are built fast and and cheap for profit. But whenever those pipes start to age about 40 years down the road, all the remodeling that you're doing to these buildings and things like that's going to be destroyed whenever everything starts leaking, plumbing fixtures start failing, and that water damage destroys it. But anyhow, until next time, won't you pop that clutch and subscribe? Or go ahead and comment down below, let me know what you think about this sort of stuff. Then you can keep on saving and making that money.